Welcome everybody to the KATA SNIPER System trading review. Today is the 23rd of July 2025. It's the machine checking in for my 30 trades review. Let's get into it. First of all, I would like to talk about some different models that I use in my trading based on Ken Long's recommendation and his way of understanding transformation and trading and everything that goes along with it. So the transformation equation is purpose, taken from Ken Long, is purpose action times artifact. That should be bigger than inertia or culture plus status quo. And with this presentation, I want to be focusing on the artifact part of this. Yes, I'm annotating for the first time, so kind of bear with me a little bit here while my pen either works or does not work. Let's see. It does work. Awesome. Perfect. So it's going to be a first for me. So I'm focusing on my artifact, which is this presentation, and also the results that I had for the 30 trades prior. One thing that I wanted to go over was the model of the knowledge of the head, heart, hands, gut, and feet. This comes from the fact that whatever we do, usually there are multiple parts of us that coexist to make that action or that system or that activity possible. The head is the thinking part. That means it's used for rational decision making and pretty much can be believed or made to believe anything, which is a very big positive, but also it can be a little bit negative because we can start to believe things that maybe are not very true or just so out of line with reality. I think that's where the heart comes in. The heart, that's what our emotions are, what we feel is right. Our hands, that's the training aspect. That's what we do and the knowledge and the experience that we do. The gut, as we all know, is that kind of checking, the safety check in all of us. That kind of makes those gut feelings when something is not right or when you get scared. That's the knowledge of the gut, and I think that's very important to have, especially in trading, where the gut kind of tells you, especially maybe if you're risking too much on a position or something. And the feet, that's kind of the overall direction of where you want to go and what you want to do. So I just wanted to kind of talk about my understanding of what I think this system went through the knowledge of the head would be. I think the system worked pretty well. It was just a basic system just to get me started. In my head, I just tried to make it as basic as possible just to get started, just to create a system, a positive expectancy system. My heart was with it all the time. There wasn't really any part where it felt wrong. The only thing that it felt was kind of that I could do more, that there were like better things to do than my standardized rules, but otherwise than that was fine. The hands, I executed the 30 trades, so there was some experience there. There wasn't really any gut feelings. The only gut feeling that I ever had was one time when I took a trade that I shouldn't have, so my gut kind of acted and told me just to exit that trade or just to make sure that I understood that that was a mistake. And the feet, well, the feet, the direction of my purpose and my trading journey, I think are aligned. So I think all of these five parts of knowledge did their part. One thing also that Ken talked about was how good a unit is, that it's based on its training, leadership, discipline, and spirit. I believe that, if I can annotate here, can I? Or is the pen not working? It's working. So I believe my spirit is like 90 to maybe 95 out of 100. So I believe my spirit is very, very aligned with my goal and what I want to achieve. My discipline is, if my pen will start working again. My discipline is also somewhere around, I think, 95. out of 100. Oh, my pen is just not working. I guess it's out of batteries or something. It's weird. I was charging it before. All right, we're just gonna have to just go without it, I guess. Well, didn't want to do that. That's what I wanted to do. All right, one more time with the pen, and then we're just gonna give up on the annotation. Okay, I'm giving up on the annotation. All right, so that's fine. So I think the discipline is also like 95 out of 100. I'm very disciplined. I'm very process oriented, very structured. So that's great. Leadership, I did some one-on-one coaching with Griff Cooper, which was great. I'm very thankful for his insights and the way he clarified a number of terms for me. That was really, really good, and something that I look forward to doing as well. I think in a couple of months, just to build upon that and make that foundation stronger. Training, that's I think the place where I have the weakest link right now, which of course makes sense. I haven't had an experience trading, so this is the part where I just have to train, and train some more, and make sure I fail a lot so I can learn from my mistakes and just grow. DQN versus OQN is an idea from Annie Duke from her book Thinking in Bets, where we're comparing the decision quality number versus the outcome quality number. And in my transformation, I believe I went from the outcome quality number where I was really focused on how good the trade was, to how good my decision for getting into the trade was. And I think that was a kind of a big mental shift for me. And in general, I think that's where I want to move towards, to make sure that every single decision that I make, based on rules and statistics and everything like that, and just outcomes, let the outcomes be what they are, and just really focus on the decision quality number of the trade and not the outcome quality number of the trade. So more on the trade framing, position size, risk management of each individual trades rather than the R capture. Of course, the R capture is important, but I know that with correct DQNs, the OQNs will be good by default. One of the things that I kind of saw in a vision or some kind of model was the valley of shadows versus the mountain of clarity, where I saw the trading environment as in like the valley of shadows, where people cast shadows and then they're scared of the shadows, and then something moves and everybody reacts to it, and all these emotions, all this turmoil. And I try to see myself on like this mountain above the valley of shadows, and where I can see very clearly on what is happening from an objective standpoint, and can act on that. And I believe I moved from that. Maybe at the start, I was still in the valley of shadows, still kind of not knowing exactly where I stood. And now with statistics, rules, procedures, checklists, I kind of am moving up the mountain of clarity. Of course, definitely not at the top, but slowly kind of leaving the valley of shadows behind, and moving up. This is from Dr. House. I really like this quote. He said, "You're either be good, get good, or give up." Now I don't give up, so that's that's something that's out of the picture. And so our only option is just to get good. I think I am good at some of the, like I said, the discipline part, the spirit part, the after action reviews, and trying to create these artifacts and create these good procedures. I think I'm good. I'm good at good at that. What I really want to get good at is the expertise, is the repetitions, is the patterns, and everything like that. So there's definitely some improvement there. Just some mental models that I want to go through. So the KATA Sniper rules were the basic rules were two symbols, 3-minute charts. So I only traded the SSE, Collapsing Dragon, and KATA 2 patterns. The risk box was not standardized, but always at the PSAR flip, which was something that Griff talked in his applied system development KATA 2 challenge. So I kind of took that to heart and used it to kind of understand more how each risk box was to the range stat, which is the maximum reasonable intraday move. So there already I was kind of framing that if the risk box was too large, so let's say it was like an R3 or an R2, then the risk box was too large and I couldn't take the trade because it wasn't a 2-to-1. I would love to drive, but my pen is not working. So let's do it maybe in the next video. So risk box not standardized made me always trade the trade, understand how different size risk boxes influence the trade, and how you really want to make sure that the execution risk box is really, really small. so that you can capture more R, you can get to no lose plus dinner for two more quickly, and everything like that. Exit management was really, really simple. I just trailed one MRV or 1R. And when I got to 1R, I just moved to no lose plus dinner for 2 0.3R. So very, very simple. I think during this whole thing, I really started to understand how important is it to have a proper exit management in the -1 to 2R zone, because there were there were many instances where it almost moved to 1R and then it failed. So I mean, with a different rule set, I would have probably behaved a bit different, or maybe it got to, let's say, 1.4R and then it failed and I only got 0.4R, so I left 1R on the table, and that really didn't make me feel good. There Definitely my gut was telling me something was wrong and that I really need to focus on, but we'll get to that later. So these are the results from these 30 trades, as we can see. So 30 trades, the total R multiple was 2.1. So this is a positive expectancy system, which I'm thankful for and happy. There were some mistakes that I made that I think cost maybe 2 to 3R. So definitely a positive expectancy system with some performance issues that could have been handled better. But of course, that's only in hindsight. We had a 47 to 53 win to loss ratio. Let's call it 50-50. Max win was 3.1. Max loss was -1.6. There was like some big gap in the -1.6, but pretty much every single trade was, or every single loss was pretty much less than -1R or at -1R, which is fine. Average win 1.4, average loss -0.78, profitability ratio 1.17, SQN 0.34. I think I should have an NSQN there just to see how much it is, because SQN is calculated, I think, to 100 trades. I'll have to look that up, but it doesn't matter. So pretty much a coin flip. If we look at the coin flip model, it's a 50% or 47% coin that pays 1.3 to 1. So definitely positive expectancy, but something to improve on. The histogram, when we look down at the left, it resembles a pretty okay curve. There's, most of our trades are within the -1 to 2R with fat right tails. So the system does allow for large gains, which is fine. But we are definitely not positive expectancy within that -1 to 2R range, which is very, very important, because if I am going to approach my trading from a systematic and industrial style, I really need to be proficient and positive expectancy there, because I frame my trades 2 to 1. So in that kind of space, I really, really need to make the money. The evolutions that have occurred during these 30 trades were pretty big. One of the things that I started to do with Ruthless was to do the Ruthless risk management. Ken uses the 4 bullets model. I don't like bullets. I come from a casino background, so for me it was 4 bets model, but it's pretty much the same. I have some poker chips in front of me to actually visualize myself. And every single trade I do, I put the one poker chip that symbolizes 1R into the casino pile or into the casino and then if I win, then I get to reconstitute that bet, and any excess is then put to the other side. There are some different packs. So for the first 7R, I kind of put that aside to feed the pack, my wolf pack of seven wolves. Then the next 4 would be the bank, which would prepare 4 bets for the next day. After that, so that's 11R. After that, I can put 2 more R into my bets model. So now I have 6 bets to work with, and then any excess R is just mine to keep. So there's some kind of standardized way of seeing, okay, every single win, where in what pile does it go, and to make sure that I keep as much as I can and don't waste anything. And also that I protect myself from, let's say, if I had 4 losses in a row, I would lose all 4 bets. And inside, I would still want to keep trading, but since I don't have any more bets available, then I just cannot trade. I think that happened only one time, and I was feeling very professional about it. That I had a model, and it said, "Hey, you don't have any bets, because after you lose a bet, even if it's a 0.1R loss, you don't get to reconstitute the bullet." So that's why I think no lose position for 2 is so important. That it's not about the win, but it's about getting the bet back so you can bet again. The strict procedure and checklist incorporation. Yeah, this was just a huge thing for me. as you can see on the top right, the plan, prepare, execute, and assess. It's a lot of checklists, a lot of a lot of procedures that are done. Before it was kind of like, yeah, just do this, and just prepare some charts and etc. Now it's very systemized. It's procedure like, and it looks very professional. I think if I was to show this to some professional, hey, this is what I do every single day, I kind of feel that this is up to par, at least to some novice level. Standards of procedures for plan, prepare, execute, and assess. That's in the in the bottom middle. There's just some screenshots from my charts where I say, hey, every single day, this is what I do: step one, step two, step three, step four. So this is like target selection. Then it will be chart preparation. So I think these SOPs are pretty cool. And it again makes me feel professional that I can show somebody exactly what I do, why I do it, and professionalism, the feeling of being a professional has been resonating with me for the last 10, 15 trades of that system, where just by using these procedure checklists, I really felt that this is the correct path inside my heart and my gut and my head, and everything was telling me this is correct. Just make it better, and improve. So that was pretty cool. Trade framing, I started to see in the lower left corner, where could it possibly stall? Did it stall at the open? It failure to fail further, some RL10 supports, RL10 resistances. So all of these things that I'm trying to now use to be able to describe price movement has been also a big thing for me. So that's something that I've been working on, and something that I want to continue working on. So that's been really good as well. So new system, the KATA 2 Sniper, the K2 Sniper. It's a little bit of an improvement. So what I want to do with this new system is to add two possible ways to get in, because previously I did not trade the opening because there's advanced techniques like the OR3 and etc. But there is the entry after the sell-off, the WMB3 entry or the 1, 2, 3 entry. So those are the entries that I am going to learn and that I'm going to be able to implement with this new rule set. The other change is the SSC. I used to use the Griff Cooper's kind of setup, where you just wait for at the PSR flip when the first bar prints, then you take the the breakout from that first bar. It is pretty good, because you usually if that bar doesn't break, then it just sells off into the collapsing dragon. So it saves you some sometimes, but I really like the aggressiveness of the entry at the PSR dot -1, where you get in. If it even moves just a little bit in your favor, you can maybe get to lowest position for two and then just take the hit. Or if you just take the hit and move to the collapsing dragon to the downside, I think that's fine as well. The exit management is focused heavily on the -1 to 2 hour zone. So there are a couple of rules here. The first is, the general thing is just to trail half an MMRB. The reason for that is I want to feel professional about the trades that I take, and the amount of gain that I take from the market when it moves in my favor. So I would leave the stop at -1 till 0.7 hours reach, and then I move to 0.2, a difference of 0.5. And then I remember looking at the exit management videos of what Ken talked about in his foundations course on YouTube and etc. And he usually talked about, hey, when you're at 1 hour, you're supposed to be at about, you should have at least a 0.5 hour capture. If 0.7 is your average R, you cannot ever give back more than 0.7 R. So that's one of the reasons why I said, well, if I can't give ever back more than 0.7 R, once that level is reached, I definitely have to move to 0.2 R. At 1 hour, I should move to 0.5. And then I was projecting, and I was saying, well, what about if it moved to 1.4 R? And then it reversed, and it hit my stop at 0.5 R. Well, I just gave up 0.9 R. That doesn't make me feel professional. So at 0. If it moved to 1.4 R, I should definitely have at least 0.9 R. So I think the 0.5 is a good trailing stop. And also it's kind of interesting, because usually at some 2R, it starts to stall. I've seen that multiple times. So when we think about it, let's say it moved to 1.9 R and then it would start to reverse. Well, what kind of gain would I want? Well, at least 1.3. But if I took a 1.4, that's fine as well. 1.4 R. I think nobody's going to be mad about that. So I just stuck to the 0.5 R. And at 2 R, if it moves beyond that, we move the stop, or I move the stop to 1.75R, and the reason for that is to prepare for the future 2R battle drill. If I get a second position in there, and now I have two positions at 2R and it starts to move against me, then if my stop is at 1.75R, since I have two positions, I would be losing 0.5R, which is fine, and I still give it some room to work. If the trade gets to 2.5R, then I just move to 2.2R to make sure that I lock in my gain on the two positions. So I would always get 2.4R because you get 2.2R from the first position and 0.2R from the second position, so you have 2.4R. And then I would widen the stop to trail not half an MMRB but one MMRB. That means to get my risk out and allow the maximum amount of to capture large gains. So that means that I can then now allow, if it moves to 4R and then goes back to 3R, that's fine. I'm okay with taking, that kind of gain. I really wanted to give it enough room, but still, I want to give it enough room, but still capture the most amounts of gains. I'm going to be trading one symbol. That's from 2 to 1. I think that's the correct play. That's what my gut tells me. To trade one symbol, keep it very simple. Trade the 3 minutes at the open, have 8 symbols. We can use the sniper patterns and others to take the one that sells off the most or gaps down the most. We know the gap stats, so we can take the one that gaps down the most. If it's an abnormal gap, we're probably going to be trading that. Or we can just wait and see which sells off the most, and to make sure that we have the biggest chance to employ our WMB3 or 1, 2, 3 entry. And I think the biggest change for me would be to standardize the MMRB to an R8. I was thinking about just going straight to the R10, but I think the R10 is just too small. And again, my gut is kind of telling me, let's just chill and have the R10 for later. Now just use the R8 to give me a bigger room to maneuver and choose. The system goals are going to be to achieve a positive expectancy. I believe I can definitely do that regarding what happened last time. Get comfortable with new entry techniques with the WMB3 and 1, 2, 3 to achieve a 0.5R return per day. That's what I want, because I want to achieve at least 1 hour per day on 2 symbols. So if I achieve 0.5R per day on 1, and I can do that consistently, then I have enough evidence to say that I can maybe trade 2 symbols and can get comfortable with setting up 8 symbols and choosing based on sell-off and gap. That's kind of self-explanatory. Get comfortable with standardized risk. I think that's going to be a lot easier, because in the past I had to kind of move the stop and keep adjusting, and now it's just standardized one way and I can just use a template and that. And then my most important thing is to follow rules with ruthless discipline, and that's it. So thanks for watching. That's not a very nice way to end the presentation. So thanks for watching. This was kind of maybe it's more for me than for everybody else, but it's just to have an artifact here about where I am in the trading journey, what are my goals, what are my aspirations, what I'm thinking about at the start, so then I can come back to it and see where have I improved, and maybe what was I thinking, and maybe this will serve as kind of an inspiration and maybe a benchmark for myself and for future traders to see what I'm going through, and maybe to build on that. So thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys soon.